I ate half a watermelon last night.
You did?
Yeah.
And it was bomb.
Oh, you're stealing the patient's popsicles?
Yeah.
It's taste testing.
Oh, make sure.
Rumor has it we've got a
Rumor has it.
I heard that we have a, what's the word? Teenager in this video.
We're gonna do something we've never done on this channel. We're gonna do a regular teenage well visit.
What age?
14. This is gonna be tricky on camera.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna talk about puberty?
We're gonna talk about everything. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Did they do rock and roll in the, they don't even know what that is today.
I don't even remember what it's like to be 14, Dad.
And you're my kid.
I was once a child.
Rap.
That's right, I was a rapper.
Rap.
And he paid for my
drugs,
album.
and rap. Okay, not rock and roll. No,
I'm just gonna put
rap.
some blue
Okay,
behind it.
well here we go.
Okay.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
I haven't met you yet. What's your name again?
Noah.
Noah?
Big No-No is his channel.
There you go.
You're a future YouTuber, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah! Oh my! Look at those moves. Do you remember? Was he always around average height or above average, less than average?
About average.
About average height.
I think of myself as under average because everyone's taller than me sometimes. But
So many kids are tall these
I
days,
know.
right? It's crazy.
I saw this show and this 14-year-old was like 6'5", and I was like,
It's just not right. And you were slightly above last time we measured you a year ago, and now you're right on the money average.
oh, okay, okay.
And what tends to happen is when you start puberty, then you're gonna shoot up. So
Okay.
we won't do that on camera, but when we do the hernia check, I also get to see where you're at with puberty.
Okay.
And that's part of the, why we do that. So there is height. We're gonna go to weight, and there's your weight.
Okay.
Slightly below average. So if you look at your weight for height, you're slim. The actual number,
I mean, unless he doesn't want to share.
103.5
Yeah,
pounds.
103.5.
What's your diet like? Like, what do you eat on a typical day?
Just honestly, quite honestly, anything. I'm trying not to eat eat or drink, soda or like candy or like. I'm kind of trying to have less unhealthy things. I do
Good for you.
every once in a while because what kid doesn't?
Right, right.
But,
Or adult.
But yeah, like usually, say there's a healthy drink and then there's like a soda or whatever. I usually take the healthy drink. So
Good
yeah,
for
that's
you.
just really what it. Yeah, if
Perfect.
I have food on the table, I'm eating it.
Do you eat breakfast?
Usually I try to.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if I wake up kind of late, I'll just have
Sure.
usually brunch.
What do you usually have for breakfast?
Probably just like cereal.
What
unless
kinds
like
of cereal?
all kinds of cereal.
What's at home right now?
Cheerios. I
Okay.
believe so.
All right.
You
These-
fed us a lot of Cheerios.
These guys ate a lot of Cheerios.
Yeah, I
So-
like Cheerios.
So breakfast is interesting. The General Mills, the company that made Cheerios and Corn Flakes, came up with the whole idea of breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So there's since been some information that's sort of not holding that up to be necessarily true.
Yeah.
I think more important than what you call it is what you eat, right? And so if we're eating real food, whole foods that come from the earth, not from a factory, we're better off. Last time I checked, Cheerios doesn't grow on trees. No? No.
I'll have to Google it.
All right, we'll double check that. But I mean, if you're gonna get a cereal, at least Cheerios is lower in sugar, and that's good.
Yeah.
So and I used to give it to my kids, but like I now also will make steel cut oats. I don't know if you've ever done that. And then if you put like peanut butter or almond butter and berries, and I chop up apples sometimes if I want a little fresh crunch and sweetness from
sounds
that.
really good.
Some
It's
raisins,
so
some
good.
dates. It is so much better for you. I test something called food sensitivities, where it's just a little finger poke and we measure 98 different foods to see if your immune system is reacting to these 98 different foods. Dairy, which is milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream,
Yeah.
it's like 80-90% of people are having a bad immune reaction to it.
Yeah.
Next is gluten, which is wheat, barley, rye, oats.
yeah.
Not oats so much, wheat, barley, rye, spelt. A lot of people react to that, and then the third most common reaction is eggs. So if you had eczema or abdominal
I
pain
think I
or brain
used to have
fog,
eczema, but then I just kind of like adapted to actually be
used
able
to
to
it.
eat. Yeah.
so that's why I bring that up. Milk is not necessarily, the milk industry would tell you it's an essential food, but
Yes.
it really isn't. We can get our fat, protein, and nutrients from other sources. There's almond milk, there's coconut milk, there's other milk alternatives if you absolutely have to have something like that. Again, if you can come to whole food alternatives.
Why
that's a
should he
good
care?
Why should he care? You know, he goes and asks the tough questions.
You're telling a 14-year-old. Why should he
why
care?
should he care?
I mean, quite honestly, for a 14-year-old, I actually like know a lot of the I'm not trying to get diabetes when I'm older. Screw that.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a more progressive mindset than I had at his age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually read a book recently called How Not to Die. Right? Now I'm getting old. I don't want to die, right? You're still young. You're like, I'm not going to die. 14-year-olds are like, what do you call it?
Invincible.
Invincible was the word. Thank you. But anyway, in this book, he points out that animal products, which the milk would be, cheese, dairy, right? And then meat, have a lot to do with being inflammatory and setting down the major killers, which is heart disease, stroke, cancer, those things. You're not at risk for that yet, but all that stuff starts now at your age, right? But you don't have the effects till you're my age. And then it's like people have heart attacks or strokes, and it's like, oh, well, it's a process. So the sooner you figure it out to be eating real healthy, I'm not trying to pick on you. You're doing amazing, by the way. But just for our viewers, taking this opportunity. For the viewers. Taking this opportunity. All right. I used to not eat very many vegetables. I'm trying real hard now to eat more vegetables. There's nobody out there except a couple of you who eat enough vegetables. So, we're supposed to get like 5 or 7 servings a day minimum.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard to do if you're not actually focusing on it. It's not hard if you really do just focus in on eating real food. Let's talk about a couple other things that are really important for your overall health. How about exercise? Do you get exercise?
I really like to exercise. If I can exercise, I will.
Okay.
There are some days where I just want to do some sit-ups, push-ups. But yeah.
On your own, you'll do that?
Yeah.
Good
Sometimes.
for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Can you do a plank? You know what a plank is?
Yeah.
How long can you go?
Probably. Let's try it.
Oh, you're gonna try it? Shall we try it together?
Let's try it.
All right, let's try it together.
A plank is where you're on the floor like that. Right?
Or you can do it like this. You can do it like this if you want. Or you can do it like that. All right, let's do that. All right. All right. So, I do this with all my patients. We do planks just because we want to be. What do we call it?
Fit?
We want to be fit. We want to be proactive about our health.
Packs,
Yeah, mine is there, but it's hidden under some layer of something. I don't know what that is. The FAT. And then when my arms start trembling and shaking, we'll know we're in trouble.
Usually when I do push-ups and stuff, I start to shake.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're holding on. How
It's
you
a
feeling?
perfect plank, too.
You're doing a good plank. Yeah.
I'm sort of shaking right now.
You're doing
You guys have almost made it a minute. Try to
Awesome.
make it another 12 seconds and you've got a minute.
Okay, we could do like 5 minutes. You think you can go 5?
Maybe, but I don't think it's entertaining to the viewers.
No, but he'll do fast forward. I have to go to fatigue to exhaustion.
We're at a minute. We're at a minute.
We made a minute. Should we call it?
Yeah.
All right.
Bravo!
Good
Bravo!
job. Man, that's the first time I've ever done that.
I know, I've never seen you do that.
Well, you're my first 14-year-old. I thought, what the hell? I mean, no, you can't say that. What the heck? No, is that any better? I don't know. Anyway, what grade are you in?
8th. Or going to freshman.
Going into freshman?
Yeah.
Do you do any organized sports?
I used to play basketball. I kind of went away from it because I'm
Yeah.
more into like the video game stuff.
Anything you can do that's fun and you're moving, getting winded, exercising to that level is good for you.
Yeah.
And you're young. Try to keep finding opportunities. Good. How about sleep? Are you a good sleeper?
Yeah,
Do you have any trouble getting to sleep?
I'm actually pretty good at just falling asleep.
Okay.
I don't know why, but yeah.
So,
Just can't.
an average day, you go to bed at what time and wake up at what time?
Go to sleep at like
Mom,
Probably-
earmuffs.
probably around like 2:30
Okay.
in the morning, and then I wake up. I try to wake up unless I'm really tired. I set an alarm for like 11:30.
Okay. So you're getting enough. The teenage year, so babies need the most sleep. They
Yeah.
are going through massive growth, right? You think about it, a baby comes out, they're born at maybe 8 pounds, and within 2 months they're 10, 11 pounds. In another 2 months, they're 20 pounds in a few months to a year. It's like they double. They're growing fast. You need a lot of sleep for that. We grow the most when we're sleeping.
Yeah.
You want them to be tall.
Yeah. I usually tell
that
myself
sleep.
that it's like, come on, I need to go to sleep. I
Yeah,
can probably
get that
taller
sleep.
than this, you know what I mean?
So the other interesting thing about sleep is if we can be in the cycle with the sun and the moon, so sleeping when it's dark and awake when it's light, it's
Yeah.
actually better for our restful sleep. Once school starts again, I mean summer break, so cut them some slack. A lot of teenagers, I used to do the same thing, up till 2 or 3, and then you're sleeping till noon.
I know it's kind of unhealthy to go to sleep so late, and it's like I want to wake up early because I don't want to mess up my sleeping schedule, because I know it's unhealthy to like, you know, like if you're living mostly at night, that's very bad. You're a vampire at that point.
It's stressful, believe it or not. Hormonally, it's stressful. You don't get the restful sleep. Okay, so I think you're doing fairly well with sleep, and you'll have to adjust your sleep time when school comes back. If they ever let us back to school. We're in COVID world, you guys.
I know.
How's that been for you? Is that stressful?
How's that been?
I don't really like it. I actually, since it all happened, I was like, man, I actually never thought I'd say this. I really wish I could actually just go back to school right now.
Right?
Like, I like the human contact. I like the being able to like focus without there being like a home distraction. Like, oh, there's the TV right there. Let's watch TV instead of doing homework. You know, it's like that's really the most difficult, because I was doing so well in school and it just kind of like drifted away.
How's your mood, by the way, before I do this? Do you get depressed or anxious?
No, I mean sometimes with this whole Corona thing, I kind of be like, you know, I kind of want to talk to a friend right now. I'm kind of bored, and I have had some friends over, you know, but it's like I don't get depressed, anxiety.
Ever been suicidal?
No.
Okay. 50% of teenagers get suicidal at one point or another.
Yeah.
And if that ever creeps into your world where you just, I mean, you know, there are appropriate situations that you would expect anybody to get depressed.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a major loss. I mean, it's not unusual to feel sadness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's regular sadness, normal just feeling down. And then there's what we call organic depression, where your hormones are just out of whack and you're crying, don't even know why.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot find joy in your life. And then it can even be experienced as pain, which that guy behind the camera taught me that, because he went through it. And I was like, what does it feel like? He said, well, it's like pain you can't get rid of, or it's like you're being suffocated and you can't find air. Just this, some people end up feeling hopeless. Like if I have to go on like this, I can't go on. If that ever happens, I want you to be sure you could tell somebody.
Yeah, my more like problem, like it's not, I don't really get sad, but I have like a thing, because I have horrible anger issues to where I have a lot of anger and rage built up, really. So like if something happens or whatever, I usually don't get sad. I get mad, angry, and
How often is that happening?
Kind of a lot, because I kind of get mad a lot with my video games, like really badly.
You get mad at the game?
Yeah. No, yeah, like
You're playing games and you just get frustrated and you want to throw the game controller on the wall.
Yeah, like honestly, like normal life.
Yeah.
I don't usually get angry, but then when I get on my game, depending on the game, because there are some games I don't really care.
Right.
But like there are some games where it's just like,
it's important to you.
yes, very important. And then if it doesn't go right, I get really angry.
Really?
Yeah.
So I got a question for you. Do you see the anger directed at you?
Yes.
No, not at me.
Not at you, just at the game?
Just at the game.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind to your mother. That's good job.
I love you.
Oh,
buddy.
oh, that's so sweet. I can't tell you how often it's not quite that way. In fact, a lot of teenagers' angst is against the parent, because somehow they feel their parents are getting in their way of having what they want, all the freedoms, right, that they want. I want to point something out about video games. First, I'll tell on myself. I don't play video games, never have, because first of all, I'm that old. Before video games.
We gotta get together, play some games.
I'm telling you, I don't know what to do with. No, I have a grandson who tried to play me one little, it was Buzz Lightyear game, like some,
yeah.
And he was chasing me on a train or something, and he would keep pushing me off the train and laughing at me. And I'm trying to run, and I don't know how to run. And you have to push certain buttons to turn around, and like, ugh, forget this. No, but back in my era, there was pinball machines, the old school pinball.
Oh, yeah.
I got really good at it, and I could win enough that I would never stop playing. Well, within about 15-20 minutes of nonstop, bang, 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 bang. I had such a whopping headache. I was like, I would have been angry.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was just splitting headache. Well, here's what I want to point out. If you look out across out the window at the forest, it's kind of a calming
It is.
experience. If you're on a screen, and especially if you're fighting on a video game, that's not calming. It's intense.
Yes.
So
Usually what I do when I'm playing bad video games, I know it'd probably just be better to just, oh, these video games are getting me mad, I just go for a walk. I do sometimes do that, but a lot of other times when I'm playing games and I get very mad, frustrated, I just play another game that's very calming, because there are some calming games.
Okay.
2020, Dad.
Yeah, it's 2020. Here's what I want to point out. We're animal kingdom creatures, right? Humans are animals. We are wired to survive. And in order to survive, we scan for danger. Okay? So if that was the forest and there was an animal coming to attack us, we go into fight or flight. Right? We're ready to defend ourselves or book it, run.
Yeah.
Fight, flight, or freeze is the response, and it's an epinephrine response. Stay right there, I'll show you some. So this here is the pathway from a protein that we eat called tyrosine to dopamine, which helps us focus and feel good, to norepinephrine to epinephrine, which is our fight or flight. So when you're playing those intense video games, especially the intense ones, you're pushing your dopamine to norepinephrine to epinephrine because you've got to be alert, right?
Yeah.
You deplete dopamine and norepinephrine, and then guess what? If you had to focus, you'd be like, the dopamine's gone, the norepinephrine's gone. So I find that those who spend a lot of time on screens, video games, social media will do the same thing. Every time I flip, it's a momentary little push of this pathway until you deplete what you need, right? So it actually makes sense that when you spend a lot of time on screens, social media, even alerts. If I have my phone with me and I've got my alerts on and they go bing, what do? I look.
Check.
Right? Oh, and then it's like something I think I have to deal with. So pretty soon I'm like dealing with stuff and, right?
Yeah.
Pushing that pathway.
Yeah.
Then if you wonder why you're angry or you can't focus, that's why. Or at least that's a big reason. So that's why sometimes parents or teachers or, doctors like me might say, take it easy on the screen time, okay? It really does matter. If you keep on this path of
it'll keep happening.
well, you may get to the point where I had a young lady, 16 years old, who I'd known since she was a baby in this practice, and she was just like this, and so depressed. She'd seen a psychiatrist, she was on 2 different antidepressants, she was on a medicine for focus, and she was suicidal. And she could not smile, she couldn't even barely look up. She was just so...
Dang,
right?
Yeah, that's harsh.
And it turned out, long story short, some of you have heard me tell this story, she left my office. I gave her a few tips on, diet and sleep and supplements and all that. She was still playing soccer. She had a major concussion, knocked out for 10 minutes, ended up in the ER, CT scan, ER, the whole MRI. Total bed rest for a month. They were really worried about her.
Yeah.
No video games, no TV, no screen time, no reading, no friends, no school. We're talking complete rest. She came back a month later. Hi, Dr. Paul, how you doing? I'm like, am I in the wrong room? Brain rest completely healed all those neurotransmitters that she had depleted.
Yeah.
I was asking her, how much time do you spend on screens? Oh, probably too much. How much is probably too much? Oh, quite a lot. How much is quite a lot? 7 or 8 hours a day on school days.
Jeez. Yeah.
Constant on the weekends.
Same thing with me. Yeah. Quite honestly.
Probably the same thing with me.
Yeah, so it's true for a lot of people, and all I'm saying is you might survive for a time, but if you start finding your focus is drifting the wrong direction, your mood is going the wrong direction, seriously, take a break. You're at that age, going into high school, middle school transition to high school, where there are a lot of opportunities generally to do risky behaviors.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Probably.
So,
Yeah, probably.
like what would you say are risky behaviors that you've had opportunities to join in on?
Sexual stuff, and probably like things that get you in danger. So like, like physical danger or whatever. Like going to a party, or do you want to go jump off a cliff, or with your friends, or like I've heard tons of things. The whole thing with, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do it as well, or stuff like that.
So on the party and the drug and alcohol scene, do you feel peer pressure?
I can. Because since my I don't know if I could say this, but my brother has had some challenges, okay. And since I've been around that, there are times where like he's had bad friends, and he's like in there, to me they'll say like, oh, do you want to try this? And I'm just like, it's like a little bit, I feel like that pressure.
You
like,
want to
I'd
be a part of.
I'd be so cool in front of his friends, but it's like I gotta just no, can't do that.
You been able to say no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's hard. It gets harder and harder, it seems, for most teenagers. If you're watching this and you're a teenager and you've already been challenged to the point where you've succumbed, I mean, most of us did, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, just about everybody does. But honestly, you've seen some of the devastation, right? You have an older brother.
Yeah, I've seen so much crap. It's kind of crazy.
And it's interesting. One of my family members went to treatment for drugs and asked the doctor that was in the treatment center, well, doc, are you an alcoholic? And the doc says, I have no idea. And they're going, what? What do you mean you have no idea? He says, well, I've never had a drop of alcohol.
Dang.
Like, what? He says the reason was it was in his family.
Yeah.
So devastation, everybody in his family dying of alcoholism. He's thinking, I don't want that, right? So I'm not saying that has to be the direction you go, but you can certainly have your eyes wide open. And honestly, the young brain is more vulnerable to permanent damage. So the longer you can put off experimenting with anything, the better.
Yeah.
And seriously, if you can just put it off, knowing that there's high risk based on what you've observed in your family, that's a good thing. But practicing how you're going to say no is probably worth doing, because boy, it hits you, right? You've been exposed, and you almost feel like you have to. And another thing I would say you can always do is all of a sudden remember you got to be somewhere. You got two legs and they can walk, right? It's like, oh man, I just remembered I'm late for an appointment. I'll see you guys later. I told my mom I was gonna, you're out. And they're like, what is wrong with him? Right? But at least you're safe, right?
I've heard a lot of stories like that.
Yeah. Another thing you could say, actually, and I'll tell you this because you have some family history stuff. My doctor says I'm allergic to this. I wish I could, man. You guys are so lucky you get to drink and smoke pot and shoot up and do all that stuff. You're so lucky.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm allergic.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I'll be your designated driver. You could be a peer counselor. It's another.
I've always like thought of stuff like that, and like I was like I'll just be the person I'll be the person in the friend group where if you guys are drunk, I'll be the driver.
There you go. Be the designated driver.
Yeah.
I've often thought that'd be a way to go.
Yeah.
I never would have done that, but I wished I could have.
Yeah.
Some of my viewers know I'm an alcoholic. I haven't had anything to drink for 17 years.
Oh, good for you. Good for
I
you.
didn't start till after high school, basically. I mean, I think I drank 3 times before I finished high school. Probably 3, maybe more, but not much. I didn't have any opportunity. I was in Africa on a mountain. My son, who's behind the camera, who grew up in downtown Portland in the sense that he went to Lincoln High School, open campus downtown, massive opportunity. I'd been a wreck if that had been my situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, setting your world so it's safe for you is a really smart move. Those of you who are watching, if you're in a dangerous sort of environment and there's anything you can do to set some sort of safety boundaries for yourself, do it. It's your life, right? A lot of times when we're growing up, we resist all the people who are putting boundaries around us and we push back against limits, and yet we end up hurting ourselves. You've watched some people hurt themselves and learned from their failures. I wished I had had the wisdom to do that. Well, actually, I didn't see much, so maybe I was victim to that, just not knowing that I was getting myself in trouble. So anyway, I want you to have a place you can go and talk to someone, an adult, safely if you're feeling in danger, if you're feeling unsure about the situations that are coming up in your life. Sounds like you can talk to your mom. You can also talk to me. And with confidentiality, if you were suicidal or homicidal, I'm obligated by law to tell your mom so that we keep you safe.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you can tell me anything, and I won't tell her without your permission. So I'll give you a crazy example of that. I had a 15-year-old girl in our office this past year, a couple years ago, who was pregnant. Her mom didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so she's in the office, she's pregnant. I have mom step out. We go over kind of, are you worried about anything? And sexually active, all that sort of stuff. Well, yeah, I'm pregnant. My mom doesn't know. I said, do you think she'll probably be figuring it out at some point? I said, yeah, I'm afraid so. Would you like me to help you tell her? I said, I'm really good at helping kids talk to their moms. Oh, she'll kill me. I said, no, I promise you, I'll make sure that can't happen. And so I promised her. Mom came in. Mom cried with her. They were just wonderful. They've been coming in ever since, and so I can help you talk with mom if there's ever a need. And I want you to have another safe place you can go. Cool. I'll finish the rest of the exam off camera. We do a hernia check, and that's a sign that you can also make sure puberty's on track. You're 14. For boys, puberty needs to start by age 15, so that would be something we'd be looking for if it hasn't started. I'm thinking it has. Just looking at your lip, you're starting to get a little hair there. So.
And I actually have shaved once.
Yeah.
It was a little bit deeper.
You're probably at that point. This guy behind the camera, his mother, who's my wife, asked him when he was about your age, well, honey, do you have any hair down there? He says, Mom, it's a jungle.
Okay, since we're all here, I'm gonna just say it's a jungle.
Yeah!
Yeah!
I don't have any beard hair, anything. It's literally the jungle.
Well, there you have it, folks. We have solved the mystery.
Why? Why can't it go up to it?
Oh, it will.
Oh.
That's the last.
I couldn't connect my beard or my mustache to years. I was 26,
Yeah.
25, 26.
Really?
The beard is.
What?
You're lucky if it starts late teens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the last thing.
I mean, I honestly think it will though, because my brother started at like 16,
Yeah.
probably 17.
Yeah.
So I think
You're waiting for it.
Yeah.
You're tired of the baby face already.
Yeah,
You're only
I am.
14. You should enjoy it. To be willing to put things as sensitive as we've been talking about at age 14, that's a big kudos
Impressive.
to impressive, man.
Impressive.
You did an awesome job. And you guys, thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Paul.
Later, dude.
Bye.